Hi, welcome to the lab. Just thought I'd do a quick video on the CommScope E6000 OFDMA, and this time it's with a SC QAM interferer placed under the OFDMA block. Um, just for reference on the analyzer, the interferer can be seen there. It has a center frequency of 60 megahertz and a level of, where are we? 60 megahertz, level of approximately 4.5, 4.7 dB, something like that. And in a minute, when the modem comes up, what we'll do is we'll capture the level of the wanted channel as well. So back to the real-time analyzer for reference. There sits the SC interferer. You can see it in the waterfall chart here. These two vertical lines are where the OFDMA block should sit. Actually, this might be easier for you guys to see if I change that to a lighter display. So yeah, those two vertical lines there, V1, V2, is where the OFDMA blocks will sit, so roughly a 10 megahertz block. And here comes the modem ranging on one of the SC QAMs. There's 5 SC QAMs set up there. So in this scenario, what will happen is the modem will come up as operational, as you can see there, 25 by 6. But in reality, it will come up with a bad TCS for the OFDMA block and actually have a bonded state of 25 by 5. So let's watch that for a second while it does its thing. Now, the reason for highlighting this one is this only seems to happen when the interferer is there as the with the modem ranging. So if the modem's cold booted or it ranges or restarts, then it will come up and simply not use the block. In a moment, what will happen is as it goes through its ranging process and DHCP and all that malarkey, we'll see the block try to be used, and that pattern will repeat until it gives up altogether. If I introduce the SC QAM interference once the modem is already online and it is using the block, then it will sit there quite happily and it will just downgrade the IUCs as expected, and the block will continue to work. No problem at all. This only seems to occur from a cold start or when the modem's ranging. And it doesn't matter where we place this interferer. So this interferer can be at the start of the block, the middle of the block, the end of the block. It can be just overlapping within the block. It just doesn't seem to make any difference, and it doesn't make any difference whether we change the modulation either. I can drop this modulation all the way down to QPSK. This modem will just refuse to use that block with this interferer present. So there we go, modem's range. You can see it now attempting to use the block. You can see it trying to populate all the subcarriers or mini slots, if you like, and you can see that happening on a regular basis in the waterfall here. So just let that continue for a bit while I ramble on. Let's have a quick look on the config at the modem status. SCM, show cable modem. So yeah, it's just finished DHCP, but obviously it's still, there we go. It's probably just finished actually, but so now you can see that the attempt to use the block has basically finished. Interferer still sitting there loud and clear. Still seeing activity on the SC comms. Let's have a look at the modem status. SCM, there we go, operational 25 by 6 3.1. But if we now do the bonded impaired command, you can see we are 25 by 5 bad TCS. So modem's now trying to download a firmware file that happens to exist in my doxys file, so there's a bit of activity there in the SC comms. That will stop in a moment and settle down. Just for reference, if we fire off some traffic, and there we go. So that's running traffic, and you can see We're getting around about 131 megabits out of there. I'm trying to put 200 meg in. And you can see the block's just not being used at all. It's completely given up on that block because essentially this modem's partial mode. In terms of levels, so this SC QAM here, marker 1, is sitting at roughly 32 dB. As I say, my interferer is around about 4.7 dB. Just for reference, I'm going to turn this interferer off. I'm going to pause. I shall pause the video, turn the interferer off, reboot the modem, put the interferer back on, and then we can look at the MER for the channels in the block. But in summary, I know this because I did it previously. The MER around these mini slots is around about 27 dB, where the MER for these guys up here, the surrounding mini slots, is around about 44 dB, although the edge ones are down a little bit due to the location of the block. Okay, so with that, I'm just going to stop the traffic for a second, and I will actually clear the modem before I pause the video. So let's just do the old clear all delete command. There's only one modem on there, so I can do that, and it's a lab. And I'm just going to briefly pause while I go and turn the noise off. Okay, so that's my mic gone. There it is. Okay, so that's my interferer gone. It was sitting here at 60 megahertz. You can still see the outline of it on the real-time analyzer. It's because my real-time analyzer is set to hold the trace. Modem is rebooting, so there's a little bit of noise, a little bit of ingress there. You can see it on the waterfall diagram. It's kind of expected for this test setup. For reference, this is a N+3 network, so it's a fiber node with 3 amplifiers, and it's approximately 25-30 kilometers away from the E6000 CMTS. The point that we're monitoring is on the optical receiver output, and then that output is attenuated prior to the input of the E6000. So these levels here, as I said earlier, even though this carrier, which obviously is not there now, but even though this carrier was reading 4 dB, the interferer, the level is kind of arbitrary as far as the CMTS is concerned, because I'm literally off a test point on the receiver. But the point being is the MER degradation remains the same. See where we are with this modem. Oh, here we go. So it's starting to range. So you can see it's starting to range on the same SC QAM again as last time. Upstream 4 or 5, depending on whether you count from 1. And I'm just going to have to wait a second. Little bit about the interferer while we wait. So the interferer is essentially a 6.4 wide PRBS pseudo-bit random vector signal generator. It's set to the same symbol rate as an SC QAM, so 5.12 megasymbols per second, set to the same roll-off, and obviously it's got the same channel width as what an SC QAM would have. It's just the amplitude is much lower, and the frequency that I chose for this particular test, 60 megahertz, again, it's arbitrary. It's just a random frequency that we picked within these 2 vertical lines, which is where the OFDMA block sits. So what should happen this time is this modem will continue to range. There we go, and it's now trying the block. You can see it's tried all the SC QAMs. It will go through its DHCP process. Tried the block about 3 times there and settled down, and then basically it will be operational. There you go. So 25pi6 operational. Let's do our bonded impaired command just to check. So there you go. There's no modems that are bonded impaired. So just for reference reasons, again, that modem's trying to download that firmware, but we'll ignore that for a minute. Let's just run some data. So we're aiming to get 200 meg on the wire, and we've got 200 meg coming out the other end as well, so that's fine. And you can see it's fully utilising the block now. So I'm going to pause the video again while that's running, and what I shall do is I shall go and turn on the interferer. Okay, that's the interferer back on. Hopefully the audio is still working on here. That's the interferer back on. You can just about make it out, sitting there underneath the OFDMA block. And you will see that the data rate is now it's gone a little bit random. Yeah, so fortunately the way pipe blower works, these are kind of averaged figures until the actual test finishes. You won't be able to see the impact of the interferer in the block, but essentially what's happening now is the U6000 is making a decision to downgrade the IUCs or not within the block. Again, from a previous test, I know that it will sit like this forever and a day. If you look at the MER for this block, what will happen is the average MER figure will be around about 27 dB for where the interferer sits, and as I say, it's up at 42, 41, 44 for the remaining channels, apart from the adjacent ones, obviously. And just for verification, let's do the Modem impaired command. There you go. So it's still not impaired, but it is definitely downgraded. So levels. So as I said earlier, my SC QAM adjacent was sitting at 32 dB roughly. There you go, 32.3 dB and 6.4 megahertz bandwidth. I've got two band power markers on the block because different vendors measure different things, but in a 1.6 meg bandwidth, the block is sitting at 26.7 dB, which is marker 2 there. And at marker 3, the block is sitting at 32.96 dB. So yeah, for all intents and purposes, it's what, half a dB out from the SC QAM level in a 6.4 meg bandwidth. So 33 dB, 32.9, whatever, 33 dB for the block level on this particular test point. 4.7 dB for the interferer. Doesn't take much to work out what the level is. You know, it's more or less a good 29 dB down, and that kind of ties in with the MER. You know, I'm getting 27 dB. Anyway, just to prove it, yep, that's quite happy. Let's have another look at the modem. Bonded impaired. Yep, it's quite happy. It's sitting there utilising all the channels. It just won't do that from a cold start, and it won't do that from initial ranging. You know, so regardless if I stop the traffic or not, if I stop the traffic, reboot this modem with that interferer sitting right there, it will come on. The modem will come online in 5 upstream bonding mode, and it just will refuse to use this block. And it doesn't matter where I place the interferer. As I say, it could be just overlapping very, very slightly, or it could be sitting at the left, sitting at the right, sitting in the middle. Doesn't make any difference. I suspect the amplitude probably will. You know, so this causes these mini slots to be, as I said, around about 27 dB MER, where the interferer sits. So I'm sure if I took the amplitude of this block down a little bit, it would probably help matters. But likewise, if I took it up a little bit, it'd probably make matters worse as well. But yeah, just thought I'd highlight that one. Thank you very much.